Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome to episode 7 of Umineko. Good morning. Today is the day of the funeral for the Golden Witch and her game. The days of the game have ended, and fond memories are all that remain. Here, the cold, hard truth will be revealed, and the game will meet its death. There's a bit of difficulty. What? Okay. There wasn't any difficulty before, but now there's difficulty. Let's begin. I like this warning. It's very nice. Oh, dang it. I always forget about this one, though. That one's the new one. Relatively speaking, anyway.
土は土に、灰は灰に、塵は塵に、幻は幻に、そして夢は夢に。夢とは寄せては返す波間の真砂に描くもの。それは波が寄せるたびに真っ白に戻ってしまう儚きもの。だから心なき人はそれを描くことを無駄なことだと嘲笑うだろう。しかしもう彼女の描いた夢を消す波は二度と訪れない。彼女が最後に描いた美しき夢はもう永遠に消えることはない。
Assume we're referring to Erica here.
さあさあ思い浮かべてごらんなさい。それは暖かき春の日の柔らかき午後の日差しがそのまま陰ることを忘れたかのよう。それはとてもとても素敵なことなのだから。あなたの最後の夢の立ち会い人、プブリウス・ワルギリア・マロ。
The suspects were gathered in a room, and several inquisitors of heresy were reporting on the results of their investigation. Heresy. Sorry. Their uniforms closely resembled those of Ursine Jungfrau, but were slightly different. Also different were the badges signifying their department. Oh man. We got some music right away. Very exciting. Then came the sound of someone clapping their hands once. It was the lead female inquisitor. It was her signal that all reasoning had been completed.
近景以上にて明々白々。以上の推理からあなたのアリバイが存在しないことの証明を終えるものなり。
At the other end of her pointing finger was a quivering maid with frightened eyes. Her name was... No, that's not important. What matters now is that she could have entered the closed-room study where the victim was found wherever she pleased, whenever she pleased, and furthermore, it had been proven that her claimed alibi for the time of the crime was contradictory. Shaking, the maid tried to continue in her illogical pleading, but everything she said had already been seen through.
以上にてフーダニット、パウダニットの証明を完了するものなり。あなたが犯人である事実は揺るがぬものと知りたまえ。
そんな。どうして私が敬愛する旦那様を殺さねばならないのですか？動機がありません。理由がありません。
誰がいかにして犯したか、それのみが立証できれば十分であると知りたまえ。近景謹んで申し上げる。ミステリーに動機は不要であると知りたま
The Inquisitor spoke coldly. After finishing her witch's prayer, Virgilia stepped back from the coffin, which lay in an altar bedecked with beautiful roses. In her place, Battler moved to the front of the coffin, wearing his territory lord's cape. Though the cape was supposed to represent dignity and majesty, it somehow made Battler look smaller. Battler held a book with a majestic binding in his hand. It was a game record that had just been written. Or perhaps it was a tale. A game. Or else a fragment. Written in it was the dream that would be more enjoyable for her than any other. Battler pressed it against his forehead and contemplated for some time. Then he kissed it, and laid it gently in the coffin. It was placed upon her chest. It made her look like a little girl clutching her favorite stuffed animal as she drifted off to sleep.
これは俺か唯一の物語だ。
This tale will be shut up with you in your coffin for all eternity. So no one will be able to read it except for you, there in your coffin.
猫箱に閉ざされた唯一不変不可侵の永遠の物語。
だから誰にも物語を汚せない。否定できない。反論できない。俺とこいつだけの二人だけの真実。クソったれが。
We are just jumping all over the place, aren't we? A man dashed through a town wrapped in twilight. The daytime hustle and bustle of this beautiful village, which combined the traditional with the orderly and the classic style of the last century, now seemed like a mere dream. The orange setting sun was already hidden behind a clock tower, and the narrow alleyway was rapidly descending into darkness. As the gas lights began to turn on, they only made the darkness of the twilight stand out all the more. The man sprinted. There was no time. He had to hurry. He had several experiments to do and things he had to check, and it had all taken longer than he expected.
ああ、確かにそうだろうな。ミステリーはフーダニットとハウダニットさえあれば十分だ。
In the mystery genre, the motive or the why done it is given the least precedence. A murder is constructed because there's a culprit who commits a crime. A motive has no place there. So it's usually the most ignored element. In fact, these days, there are some who call it unnecessary.
ホワイダニットだけで犯人が決まっちまったら、そりゃミステリーじゃねえ。プロパガンダだ。だからって動機ってやつを、心ってやつをないがしろにしちゃいけねえんだ。
Just be edgy and mysterious, shall we?
私たちは彼女の最後の眠りがどれほど楽しいものであるかを知っています。だから何人たりとも彼女の眠りを妨げることはできないでしょう。楽しい夢に微笑むこの眠りを妨げられるものなどいるわけもないのですから。さあ、私たちはもう立ち去りましょう。私たちが賑やかにしていたら彼女の夢を眠りを覚ましてしまいますよ。
そうだな。寝ている子には毛布をかけて部屋を暗くして静かに立ち去るのが決まりってもんだ。
After looking at the coffin one last time, Virgilia turned around quietly. Battler did the same, but he then stopped and turned to face the rose-covered altar. Battler said his final words with his heart. As long as those words didn't leave his mouth, no one could understand what they were. However, those words of the heart caused Battler's expression to change several times. At first he frowned sadly, then his face clouded with remorse, and then changed to a bitter, dumbfounded smile. It flashed through several varied expressions. Then the final expression that crossed his face was, surprisingly, a gentle smile. Something rose to Battler's lips. However, he bit it back down. There could certainly be no words to describe the many feelings he kept in his chest. So saying anything aloud would probably be crude. Battler understood this and stopped himself from speaking once more with a bitter smile.
ありがとう。
お礼を言われるようなことは何も。
あとを頼む。
After seeing Virgilia nod back at him, Battler turned away from the altar one more time and left the chapel. Virgilia also disappeared, and all disturbances that might have interrupted her blissful sleep had vanished. The inquisitors of heresy listened with calm, no scornful gazes. They listened to the frantic babbling of the maid accused of murdering her master. However, nothing she said could bury the fault in her own alibi. They were not all mere emotional arguments. I loved and respected my master so much, or they were all. I had no motive for killing him. No matter how much she spoke, it only made her look more and more like the floundering true culprit, struggling pathetically. The who-done-it and how-done-it had been satisfied. As for the why-done-it, the motive, the heart. No matter how much she spoke of her gratitude for her master, who had graciously given her a job when she had been left by the wayside after various misfortunes, that didn't help her case in the slightest in the mystery genre. Therefore, her motive didn't matter. All of that could just be squeezed out of the culprit afterwards. An inquisitor of heresy took out a roll of parchment and held it forth, cutting off the maid's sobs in protest.
あなたがいかにして犯行に及んだか、その告発は大法院にて受理され、あなたの逮捕を許可したことを知りたまえ。これがあなたの逮捕状なり。動機など不要。犯人の特定には一切不要のものと知りたまえ。その上で謹んで申し上げる。我らが SSVD は罪を認めぬ犯罪者に真実を告白させる強制的手段を持つと知りたまえ。我らが異端審問官が正義にて祝福された審問具にてあなたの志士を絞り上げて焼いて潰して引き伸ばして吊るし上げる。そこより赤き真実を絞り出してみせることを申し上げたてまつる。自白すらも不要。補佐官一同、そのメイドを逮捕したてまつれ。
私じゃないです。私は旦那様を殺し、
Oh, it's you. Hello.
やめな。そのメイドは犯人じゃねえ。
Hello, mysterious man. A man kicked the door open, and the inquisitors were all shocked by the sight of him.
なぜあなたがここにいるもの。この事件はもうあなたの担当ではないと知りたまえ。
うるせえ。アリバイがないやつを一人見つけたらそいつが犯人なのか。犯行には動機が、心がいらねえってのか。犯行はな、人が犯すんだよ。心がねえ事件なんて存在しねえ。心を無視した推理なんさ、俺は絶対に認めね
え。あなたのホワイダニット至上主義の主張には辟易するものと知りたまえ。ホワイダニットなど無用。審問すればかようなものを容易に絞り出せるものなり、大法院も その女が犯人であることを認めたものなり。
大法院、そのメイド以外の全員にアリバイがあるならきっとそうなんだろうというお前の独りよがりを鵜呑みにしただけだ。他の被疑者のアリバイが崩れれば白紙に戻る。他の連中のアリバイも無様なもんじゃないか。大広間の時計の音は正確に正午を刻んだか。勝手口の犬は全員に吠えるのか。確かにお前はメイドのアリバイの偽証を崩した。それは見事なもんさ。だがそれで終わりなのか。メイドに犯行が可能でもそれを行う動機はあるのか。他の人間のアリバイは完璧なのか。他にもアリバイを偽証している人間がいる。それを探すことを怠るな。犠牲者に怨恨は、金銭関係でトラブルは、動機を捨てるな。心を捨てるな。動機なんて後付けでどうでもいいなんて、そんな乾ききったミステリーごっこは卒業しちまいな。
メイドが犯人でないなら、なぜに彼女はアリバイを偽証するものなりや。そしてそれを問うことも茶番。審問し赤き真実を絞り出し、犯行時刻の全てを赤き地で署名させるだけで良いものと知りたまえ。
ああ、そうだろうな。お得意の拷問で全てを神の目線から客観的に赤裸々に絞り出せばいいさ。でもな、一心のねえミステリーと推理のやり方はな、俺が絶対に認めない。すでに
本事件は本館に継承されたるものなり、ここに命令書もあるものなり。さあ補佐官一同、構うことはなしと知りたまえ。そのメイドの逮捕を命じるものなりや。
When she gave this order, her subordinates hesitated, looking back and forth between their superior and that man.
させねえ。本当の犯人は他にいる。動機から推理可能だ。アリバイトリックなんざ古典道具。
Oh man, look. He's smart and he's the I don't know.
心を忘れるんじゃね
え。心など不要なり。
He's the dark, edgy Lord of Truth, I guess.
犯行可能な疑わしき人物を導き出し、審問して赤き真実を絞り出せばいい。万一犯人でなかったなら、別の疑わしい容疑者を審問にかければいいだけなりや。
そんなのは推理じゃ。
退きたまえ。その女を逮捕するものなりや。そのメイドが犯人であると知りたまえ。
使用人が犯人であることを禁ずる。
The words of power blasted away the aides who were trying to arrest the maid.
バンダイン20作第18
Oh boy, do we have new rules now?
このメイドを拷問したかったら、第二夫人とその愛人のアリバイをもう一度洗いな。
その二人には犯行時刻の明白なアリバイが。
あの程度でアリバイか。ボンクラのお前に分かるように説明してたら、時間がいくらあっても足りねえや。めんどくせえ。首席を名乗りたかったら、その程度の捜査と推理を見せてみな。それまでこのメイドへの逮捕状は俺が預かるぜ。
ならあなたにそのメイドが犯行を犯さなかったことが証明できるなりや。犯行時刻に彼女が台所を離れていたことは明らかと知りたまえ。彼女は犯行時刻にどこで何を。その女にも本官にもあなたにも誰にも証明は不可能なりや。なればこそ審問の拷問具で赤き真実を絞り出すほかなきなり。
Oh, I like it. Justice by interrogation and possibly death.
真犯人からは血ヘドでも真実でも好きなだけ絞り出してやる。だがな、 真犯人じゃねえ人間へはいかなる審問も拷問も許さね
だからこそあなたは甘いと批判されるものなり、疑わしきは全て審問。それが我ら異端審問官の魔女裁判であると知りたまえ。
え。そうだな、俺たちは異端審問官だ。邪悪な魔女を撃つ、それが商売さ。だが万一にも市民を傷つけてはならない、疑ってはならない。人間は誰しも自分だけの真実を持つ。それは罪を犯した時にのみ暴かれる。俺たちにはそれを暴く資格が与えられている。だがな、ねえんだよ。
何が？
罪なき人間の罪なき真実を暴く資格なんざ、たとえ神様にだって与えられちゃいねえんだよ。
The maid finally realized that he was trying to protect her.
どちら様か存じませんが、ありがとうございます。私本当に犯人じゃないんです。
んなことは知ってな。お前の彼氏は全てを投げ出してお前のためにアリバイを証言すると。感謝してくれ。あの若造は名誉も肩書きもお前に比べたら大したもんじゃねえと言いやがったぜ。
そんなことをしたらあの人は。
それには及ばねえ。恋人たちの秘め事を暴くのは三流雑誌の仕事だ。ミステリーじゃねえ。俺は心のない推理は絶対に許さない。
He sounds a little bit like a familiar witch of truth. I don't know. Then, for the first time, the man's sullen expression relaxed, and he patted the maid's head unreservedly.
きっと彼氏と幸せになりやがれ。だが勤務中に相引きするのはあまり褒められねえな。時々にしとくんだな。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
These words were heard only by the two of them. The man had learned of her innocence, which could only be proven by exposing the secrets of a pair of young lovers. And he had rushed about in search of a solution, resentful of the arrogance of those trying to expose this by forceful means.
推理はな、犯人を作ることでもその過程で罪なき人々の心の真実を踏みにじることでもねえ。心が大事なんだ。探偵気取るなら心を忘れるんじゃねえ。そいつを忘れたら俺たちはただの知的蹂躙者だ。
Oh, that is familiar, is it not?
それを忘れるな。
When the man spoke, the Inquisitors no longer had any way to argue back. This man's name is Will, and yet that's not what everyone used to call him. Head Inquisitor of Heresy and SSVD, the 8th District Repentance Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven. That's a lot of words. Wizard Hunting Right. Let's go take a look. Let's see, it's been so long, I don't even know where to look. System, there we go. Willard H. Wright, member of the SSVD, the 8th District Repentance Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven, an Inquisitor of Heresy and a first-rate Archbishop. He's commonly known as Wright of the 20 Wedges, or Wizard Hunting Right. I'm not doing good with words today. He was an ace Inquisitor of Heresy in his youth, and was feared for being both ruthless and merciless in his work. However, at some point there was a change in his work attitude, and his previous flashy escapades became a thing of the past. His current style is often fickle, alternating between laziness and obsessive bursts of energy regarding mere trifles. By now everyone has given up trying to understand him. He's already filed his resignation and had it accepted. Only a few days remain before he loses the name of Wright. Which is wrong, I guess.
お前らへの最後の引き継ぎだ。魔術師狩りのライトの名を継ぐなら忘れるな。絶対だ。
That was an interesting opening. My favorite part was when Goda made like the angry face halfway through it. I don't know, I thought that was pretty funny. But it seemed a little generic almost. Of course, then again, at this point of the story, we're trying to figure out the mystery of the story more so than, you know, having more big things happen. If that makes sense. So I guess it makes sense that it was a little generic-y somewhat. Anyway, we're going to stop it up there for today, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Haven't actually made the portrait out yet, but I'm going to do it while I'm editing the video. So hopefully it turns out good. I think it will. It was a pretty high quality picture I was given, so I can probably do something with it. So, thank you guys for watching. Bye!